What is going on, guys? Yes, we're live. We are live. Thank you for joining us today. Today we have special guest, Mr. Justice Cury.
Who? What?
Justice Cury. He's here. He's right there.
Thanks for inviting me. I clicked on this link. So I thought you guys were catfishing me, and I was like, what is this? And I went down all this, and now I'm on this talk show with you guys. So I figured, while I'm here, I might as well just have fun with it.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah. So we got with us Grecofabulous.
Hello. I am a piece of garbage.
And we got Mr. Ed from Ed's Retro Geek Out.
Yeah.
What's up, Ed? What's going on?
I'm doing okay. My puffer is kicking in, so I don't have like hay fever asthma, so I can talk and breathe.
Nice. Very good.
All questions should go to Ed, I think. Given his condition.
Make it miserable for him?
Yes.
Why not?
Should be good. No.
Why not?
No, man.
So yeah, guys, for the audience out there, Justice, why don't you tell us a little bit about plastic crack?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I need to put on mine so I don't feel like the odd man out. I have state-of-the-art. These cost me $2,000. They're by a company called Leapfrog. They're very exclusive. I'm sure none of you have heard of them. They're so exclusive. The only 2 of them made in the country. But Plastic Crack is a toy documentary that you definitely need to check out. It's on Amazon Prime right now. It costs a few bucks. But what I always tell people is, if you don't like it, like I don't make a dime from Plastic Crack. If you don't like it, freaking PM me. I will refund your money. I'm that confident in the thing, because it's not about who has the best collection or, look at me. It's about the community at large of toy collectors, people that are passionate, and the different reasons of collecting. And I think there's 4 episodes of season 1 available right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to season 2 that's in production or in editing and whatnot. Nice. But it goes from all the major toy lines to Star Wars, G.I. Joe, He-Man, My Little Pony, people collecting Cabbage Patch Kids. And it's just talking about this common language that we all speak and the motivations behind it. What's up?
I want some of that.
Sure.
Yeah. I heard that you also do re-edits on demand too. If I don't necessarily need a refund, but if you could cut it up a different way,
I'll work on that for you.
Awesome.
And the Plastic Crack,
service.
It's also available through Amazon UK or something like that, like for the Europeans watching.
Yes, it is available on Amazon UK. I think it just cost $1 or so for the episode. They lowered the price. I think it was originally $3, and now it's $1 an episode. But I mean, for anybody that's in it, if you're watching this, obviously watching this streaming right now, you love toys. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this.
Right.
So when we're done talking, you guys, the listeners, the watchers, go watch Plastic Crack, because you're going to go, oh my God, this is amazing. And you can check them out on Facebook, Plastic Crack Documentary. Like it to stay in touch with, the upcoming season 2 and new information and yeah.
Nice. So when are you guys looking at rolling that out? Do you know, or it's just kind of
things got kind of delayed with the Rona? So I don't know. Hopefully in the next couple months. My buddy Guillermo, who directed the whole thing, is working on it. Yeah.
Do you want some lemonade?
I want some lemonade. Yes. Sorry, I have constant.
I want some lemonade.
Right.
Look what he did. This kid, if I don't pay attention to him for 2 seconds, he literally took my orange juice that's in the boot, and now he brought in 3 separate cups from upstairs, and he was going to do a little concoction. Look at, he's embarrassed. He's hiding under the table right now. He was going to start dumping this, and kids are very cautious when they're dumping and separating cups.
Super cautious.
It would have been sticky. I mean, look. And I love kids. I love my kids to death, and you guys with kids can relate. This chaos is not from me. It's from my daughter bringing her toys in here, but I love it. I wouldn't change it. Sometimes when I get a little stressed out, my mom put it in perspective. She said, someday when your kids are grown up and they're gone and your house is immaculate, you're going to go, I wish it was still messed up. You're going to be longing for the days of the insanity with these kids. And I went, you're right. You're right.
Very cool.
Yeah, I can appreciate that later. Now I'll just complain about it.
Mhm.
Time to complain, you know.
All right.
I'll live in regret. It's fine.
So today we're going to talk about collectors fatigue and kind of how we deal with it. I'm pretty sure all of us have dealt with that at some point. So Greco, won't you kick it off for us, homie?
Sure. So I'm not a collector. I'm just a reseller. So I don't experience collector.
Dirty reseller.
No. Yeah. No. I think it's kind of an ironic topic. Obviously, because I feel like most of us watching would probably give anything to be out there hunting right now. So to talk about us getting sick of kind of collecting is kind of funny in a way.
Mhm.
But I definitely feel like it's a real thing. I feel like there's different levels of it. I mean, I think people it incarnates in various forms. It can either mean you deciding to whenever you shift that finish line for certain lines, you can downsize your collection. You can go in completely one other direction where you get rid of everything. So it definitely exists in different forms. I feel like for me, one thing that really keeps this hobby fun and alive and kind of avoiding the collecting fatigue is the fact that I kind of cast a wide net. I'm not just narrow. I'm not, even though I talk about Transformers all the time, I'm not just a Transformers guy. It's a whole era. What I really love doing is interacting with other collectors and hunting with other collectors and just going out there and seeing what great deals you can find. And since my mode of operation is trying to have the hobby fund itself, it's not always about finding things that I need for my collection, but it's about finding great deals and unique items that maybe I can pass on to other people and eventually it'll come back to me. So I think with that approach, it really helps keep the hobby fresh. So that being said, I have experienced collecting fatigue, which is why I'm kind of narrowing my scope when it comes to certain toy lines. Like I mentioned on previous shows, I don't need the whole G1 Transformers line. I only want it up to this point. So I think that's where I've kind of seen it come to fruition in my collecting. But I've never gone the complete opposite direction where it's just like, I really don't enjoy doing this anymore. And I think it's because of how I've been approaching it.
Yeah. Awesome. Ed, what about you, man?
For like, I think like I brought up the subject, but I haven't really thought about it too well. I'm
Nice
just
prep.
figuring that out right now.
You're a model of show prep, Ed.
Good job,
so,
Sarah.
yeah, collecting fatigue. I think for me, I used to just do retro games, and the first time I encountered being, like kind of depressed with the collection or being not able to find stuff for the collection is when I was just doing the retro games, and every single retro game I still needed for the goal I was setting myself was like, $100 or even more, something like that, and not available in a way that you could go to a flea market and find it in a fun way, but you'd have to go to a convention, buy it, or buy it on eBay, which means no adventure, and that's what I'm after. So it was either flip stuff and make money in order to be able to buy that, or expand the collection, and I did that something like 6 years ago with adding toys to it. So then, like, again, you could go out and find tons of good stuff at the flea market. Plus, I was just starting out with toys, and everything was new. And if it was a really good price, I'd pick it up. So yeah, that definitely has kept it fun for me to keep collecting. I do, sometimes think like, why the hell am I doing all this? Why is everything? Why do I have all this stuff? But ever since I started doing YouTube, because I haven't been doing it too long, that hasn't happened to me anymore, actually, because like it keeps it fun and fresh because you're turning it into content. You're trying to make it a creative experience as well, because you're turning it into videos and
Sure.
you're trying to create a story from the finds, and you're adding it to the collection. And once it's in that collection, there's so many different things and people connected to that piece, or to like a big haul, something like that, which makes it so much more fun to keep in the collection. Instead, I could have just bought stuff on eBay or went to like a store, but not really being involved with that person, or not really creating like a relationship with the people that you're buying stuff from. So yeah, but I do have like, sometimes I'll have like moments of focus where I'm like, I'm gonna put that away and start focusing on that stuff. So sometimes I do, purge the collection and sell some stuff off.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's where it is for me. I think like the fatigue kicked in about 6 or 4 years ago, and I had that for like 2 years, 2-3 years, where it was like, should I be doing this? Should I not be doing this? And then like maybe like not going to a flea market for 2 to 3 months. But then I started doing the YouTube, and it was like every week, So it really revitalized collecting for me. And you meet so many new people now, and it seems like there's just a lot more people, definitely in Europe, collecting toys, and just really cool people, honestly.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
that's definitely a good way. So I hope I kind of answered the question.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah,
you did. Justice, what about you, sir?
They took all my answers. There's nothing more to say, so I guess I'm gonna have to pass. But I'm gonna touch on something that Ed said. That expression of art that we have through our YouTube and reaching other people and sharing our experiences and editing the videos and going back and forth with comments, that gives us different venues to our collection and different seasons that we go through, whether it's completing a line or hunting for toys. That just adds another dynamic. And I encourage people, whoever's watching, go live, go to a Facebook group and go live. Who cares if there's only 5 people watching? And don't go, well, I'm not as good as so-and-so. No one's good when they start.
I'm so-and-so.
Yeah, I know.
You'll never be as good as me.
When I started, like, you watch my original YouTube video and I'm showing my collection room, I'm like, this is a I'm not confident. I'm worried about what people are going to think about me. And that's when I was still in the toy collecting closet. Like, I'm going, oh my God, if my coworkers find out about this, I'm a dead man. So there's all these things going on in my mind. And then as I started doing more live videos through Facebook and getting more comfortable and not caring what other people's think about me and being confident in myself, it was just a freeing thing. And then when I was outed at work, oh my God, you want to talk? And that's a big thing with Plastic Crack, circling back around. When they came out and filmed me for this documentary, 2 days prior, I got outed. Like, no one knew about my toy collecting except 2 close friends in the police force. And I was keeping it totally secret. But someone found that link, or someone told someone who told someone, and they were watching my YouTube videos in the squad room, laughing, being crazy. And that kind of inspired me to make my, I have a video called From Alcoholic to Toyaholic.
Yeah, I saw that.
About my problem with alcoholism. And then when I became sober, this became my new healthier addiction. So I wanted to kind of not only share with the world, but with my coworkers, like, hey, this is a good, healthy coping mechanism and outlet for just me. And when those guys saw that, it shut most of them down. And then if they started teasing me at work, I was like, hey, I'm making money freaking flipping things. I like what I do. I don't care what you say. So it's hard to shame you if you're not ashamed.
Sure.
So that made it go away. I still get people, oh, I got this little action figure, putting parts in front of my locker or something. And I'm like, I don't care. Put that in front of my, I'll sell it on eBay.
I'll take it. Yeah.
I got a He-Man shirt. Someone put it on my locker. They must have got it somewhere. And I'm like, I'm wearing that sucker. I don't care if it's a small. I'll just rip it like the Hulk. But sorry, I'm getting on tangents. I always talk about, I get on so many tangents. And you need to stop me, please, guys. Just yell.
No,
Stop.
man, it's fun, man. I love
Yeah.
watching your videos when you go in your tangents. I'm like, oh, what is he doing now? But it's awesome. Love it.
Yes. Thank you. So flipping things is a rush. And I saw someone saying in the comments that I think it was Carlos goes, I feel like Indiana Jones when I'm on a toy hunt and I'm finding things. And you guys feel that exact same thing, that rush, that freaking rush of finding, maybe something you were really looking for or something you forgot. Like it was in your memory from when you were 4 years old. Maybe you only had it for a few months before you broke it or lost it. And then you totally forgot it existed. Like, I'll show you a case in point. This thing. Wacky Wallers or Wacky Wally. So it's like a little slime thing that you'd get at maybe at 25 cents. You put it in one of the quarter machines. You throw it against the wall and it kind of like falls down. The octopus arms fall. So I probably had that just for a week or two when I was a kid. And then I just randomly came across this. Someone made a post online about it and it re-triggered something in my memory and brought me back. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot I owned that. I forgot I loved that toy. And I immediately went out, found it. So those little things like that, hunting for treasure, hunting for flips. You want to know, you guys know, finding a $50 toy and $1 bin or something like that doesn't happen often.
Nope.
But when it happens, I mean, you ride that rush.
Yes.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. And then, so like Stamos set up here. I'm kidding. Greco. Can you what did he say?
Have mercy.
Have mercy.
Have mercy.
What did you say that I was thinking the same thing? Oh gosh. I got myself on a roll and I totally forgot. So hunting for toys, flipping for you're talking about flipping toys. That's what you said. Financing your hobby through flipping toys. And I talk about it all the time. Not using personal money, because I've seen some of the negativity and the drama that happens in the community where people start hemorrhaging their real world money into this collection, and it can be addictive. You want what's next. And next thing, now your relationship with your significant other is going down because she's going, well, how are you going to pay the cell phone bill? And I'm like, well, I got this new Ninja Turtle. She's like, I don't effing care about no Ninja Turtle. So there's problems involved with it. There's pitfalls. I want to do a YouTube video. Maybe you guys can help me do one about the pitfalls and how to avoid those. And that could be a topic. Maybe if you don't hate me and I don't burn my bridges with you all, we can do another one in the future about some of the things to avoid that we've noticed regarding finances and time. And
that's another topic.
Wait, you want me to sacrifice my marriage for views?
Yes. That's what I'm telling you. Exactly.
I'm on board. Let's do it, baby. We're going viral.
Yes. So flipping and hunting for things, completing another topic that I love to tell new collectors that get into it, because He-Man and G.I. Joe are my main jam. I have many loves. But those are my two toy lines that I love the most. So when people are reaching out to me going, I want all these 85 G.I. Joe figures, and I'm like, slow down. Don't complete to the finish line. Because you get to the finish line and then you're like,
that's
whatever. Exactly. That's it. The hunt, the progression. And I equate eBay to like, filling up a Walgreens with wild game, and you go in there on an exotic hunt and you can just shoot all the animals. That's eBay. I want to go out in the forest and hunt. That's the antique malls. That's the garage sales. That's going to the toy shows. That's the real fun for me. I don't like, there are sometimes I have to get something on eBay that I really want, but finding things in the wild, that's where it's at, man.
100% agree with that.
All right. I turn over the mic. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Narc, you do have a mute button on him if you need to use it.
Dude, I totally forgot about that.
He invited you to talk, so I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
And down.
Where's my $100 gift card?
Greco promised that. Yeah.
Greco.
I make a lot of
Greco.
promises.
The tracking number that you sent me doesn't come back to anything. You said you're sending me this $100 gift card of.
Hey man, post office is doing its best, man. You know,
All right,
things are happening in the world.
I'll give him some more time then.
Yeah, so fatigue for myself, mine is actually kind of opposite of Greco's, because he said he, went into a more broad collecting type. For me, I was kind of like grabbing way too much. Like I didn't have that focus. About a year and a half ago, I really snapped and I really started to focus on, hey, what do I need? I don't need this Marvel Legend, but I kind of need to complete the first 10 back of the Turtles or whatever, and right now I'm getting all my collection together and finding out what I need inventory wise. So it's really it's been refreshing. That's the only positive thing through this whole staying at home deal. But so for me, it was just really just the key was staying focused. So.
No, yeah, and just jumping on what you guys all said, a lot so I feel like being a vintage toy hunter, the fatigue gets put at bay just because it's like like you guys already said, it's already about the experience. Like I put out videos where I'd walk away with it'd be like a half an hour video and I walk away with one toy that isn't even anything fantastic, and I'll get comments like, I just watched 30 minutes of you buying or not buying anything, and I was like, well, it's about the whole journey. It's not not everything is going to be home run or like a money windfall. It's that adventure that we all go on that I really want to capture. That's like the essence, why I collect and do this with other people. But I think what could lead me to more of a fatigue feeling is, since I have a good grasp of what I need vintage wise, it's just the new releases that keep adding and adding to, like, if you do have that finish line in mind with a certain line and then they come up with something really awesome and now you need that, then it just keeps pushing things further and further back and you're like, how much further can I go with this? When does it all end? Which I think it can at least for me lead to a feeling of just being, I'm too damn tired.
So tired of this.
So tired.
So tired. Guys, can I say one thing? I realized that for like 5 minutes and I never even talked about collector fatigue. I just started sidebar issues. But the biggest thing that I get fatigue on is selling. Like if I get a big lot and I'm just friggin' hustling nonstop. Like I tell people, I work 2 jobs. Like I work a full-time regular job as a police officer, and then I work a full-time job as hunting, finding toys for myself, and to finance things. But it can become exhausting, especially if you did maybe 50 items in a row and some type of reply auction on Facebook or something like that, which I commonly do. And now I got to reach out and package all these items and spend hours upon hours of tracking people down. That's where I get the biggest type of fatigue is hustling.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work. I mean, even now, like obviously not really being able to venture out, I can't set up at toy shows and meet people face to face. So I've been doing a lot of eBay listing just to kind of fill the time and lighten some of the load. And that's just because I want to be a thorough seller and I want to take, all the pictures of every angle and be thoroughly descriptive, because I know as a buyer, I appreciate that. So just going through that process is definitely a chore in itself.
Oh, yeah.
That's something like I want to stay away from. Selling online. It's the same thing with, buying stuff. I want to see it, have it in my hands. So whenever I sell stuff, I just bring it over to a convention or a toy show, and I sell it to the guy that's there.
Right.
And it's also an experience instead of, somebody just typing to you on the internet. But yeah, I mean, there's not good and bad sellers, but sellers that actually work from the standpoint of a toy buyer that actually wants to see all sides of the toy instead of like, oh, here's like the front of this toy, but the back is all like this colored. And when you get that package in, that's when you see it. And it's like, this isn't what I was expecting, But yeah, I mean, if they're not collectors themselves, they probably just don't even know, why you why you went bidding on that thing for like $80 or something. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, like for me, like definitely like the selling aspect, just pricing stuff. It's already tiring. And whenever I do put some stuff online on Facebook to like a select group of people, it's already like so stressy, just like preparing the packages. People will come and pick it up, you taking the money and stuff. Like, so if you're doing that and still providing what I feel like is customer service, then you're like one hell of a cool dude, I guess,
For sure. So we have a question from Mr. Cincy Nerd, and he says, what do you feel is the easiest, most reliable method for selling toys? IG, eBay, Facebook, etc. What do you guys think? Greco?
So I'm gonna whittle down the list. I hate Facebook Marketplace with a passion from both a buyer's and seller's perspective. As a buyer, I've had, I feel like, well, I just feel like Facebook, at least in my experience, has been like people are super flaky on that thing. Sellers never like keep their word. Buyers are always hitting that automated response where it's like, hey, is this still available? Hey, is this still available? And then you like respond and you hear nothing, or they'll just like lead you on. And you try to I try to give people the benefit of the doubt and do first come first serve. But now it's gotten to the point where people have just kind of stood me up so many times where it's just like, whoever's like literally next door, come get it now. That's kind of what I have to resort to. On the other hand, though, Facebook groups, like the toy groups, I like selling in those, because you run into much less of that. It's people that are looking for what you're hawking, and I can give them a better deal compared to like an eBay because we're not running into any of those fees and whatnot. But again, those people, I feel like, and I don't mean those people. Sorry, I don't want the comments to blow up. I feel like they're, unless you're giving them like a pretty good deal, which I try to. Some of that stuff might sit around. So my preference, and I don't know if it's the easiest way, is to, like how Ed said, sell it at a convention or a toy show. Well, it's not easy in that you have to, set up a table and break down and price things, but the experience is the most worthwhile in terms of meeting people face to face. There's not that risk of mailing something out and having them, want to return, or any things getting damaged along the way, and just the interaction that I crave when I first went to the show as a buyer and when I go as a seller now in some instances. That makes up for all the all of the work setting up for it. So that's my number one preference, and I'll be super happy when I'm allowed to do that again.
Heck yeah. Ed, what about you, sir?
Well, I was kind of like talking about it before, but I haven't tried out Instagram or eBay. I have done it on Facebook, but in like select groups where I already kind of know the people. But for me, it's the same thing like Bizarre Species or Spruce Game Hunting says, like just buy and sell at conventions or at toy shows, because you interact with people and you meet new people. You work out trades, which is always better, I think.
Oh yeah. Agreed.
Like no money flowing, just toys, which is great. So yeah, that's gonna be my answer for that. But like I said before, I haven't tried out Instagram or eBay, so can't really provide a decent answer, I guess, to the good question.
No, that's good, dude. Justice, what about you, sir?
I have a pipe dream that when I retire from my real world job of law enforcement, which I'm trying, my goal right now is this flipping toys and whatnot. It's going to help me get to retire early. Like I don't have to be a 55-year-old cop jumping over fences, chasing idiots left and right. Hopefully, if everything goes well, I'll retire at 47 years old. Granted, I won't be able to collect my pension until later on. But what I want to do at 47, and if everything works out, I want to start going around doing YouTube videos around the country, around the world, but
that's
also
awesome.
setting up shows. That's where I really want to start setting up shows. I haven't done it. And the primary reason I don't set up at shows is because I want to hunt at shows. So I'll pay the early bird fee. I want to get in there, or I'll go and help my buddy set up, but I'll help him bring a few things in, and then I'm like a little and I'm jumping around and I'm waiting for someone to open up a tote, or I'm like, hey, do you got vintage G.I. Joe or He-Man? And he's like, yeah, I think I got something. I'm like, I'll come out there and help you load it and let me open it in the parking lot. And I'm like, how much for the whole tote? And he's like, I don't even know what these things are. Give me $50. I'm like,
yep, I'm out.
The early bird toy hunting, getting there early. But as far as my bread and butter selling, Facebook is where it's at. That's where I'm most comfortable at. I'm sure Instagram has, people have told me, sell toys on Instagram. I fiddle fart with a little bit, but I don't understand it. I need someone to walk me through, because I'm an old man now, to say this is how it works. But Facebook groups, I just I stick with what I like. Unfortunately, I bought toys sometimes that I don't care about, but I know that I can make a buck on them, and that becomes work. I don't like doing it. There was this old man that had a model train collection, and he said, if you sell this for me, I'll give you 60%, and you just give me 40. And I go, okay. I loaded up I had to rent a trailer and loaded it up. And that was last summer. It took me 3 months of nonstop selling a gigantic collection, and it was work. I hated it. I had to sell it on eBay. It was grinding. Yeah. So I learned a valuable lesson: sell things that I'm passionate about, that I'm knowledgeable about. And Facebook groups, I'll go, if I have a G.I. Joe item, I'll go to ARAH 1982 to 1994, because that's the market. You know, a guy goes, oh, yeah, I guess I want it. No one's specifically searching for the item. It pops up in front of them, and they might make an impulse buy or go, oh, I remember that, or whatever, and buy it there. Or sometimes, like recently, I got some Zords. You guys remember Zords, right? The mechanical type things that I never had Zords. I'm not sentimental. I don't know much about them, but I got a bunch of them. So I went to a Zord Facebook group. I priced them 15% lower than eBay, so I can get rid of them and sell them. And then I leave the group right when I do it, so I'm not getting notifications and stuff all the time.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to ask you, because like yesterday there was like an auction in one of the TMNT collectors Facebook groups, and I saw like it went live at 4 p.m. in the afternoon yesterday, and today it had 1,200 comments. How do you? Because it was just one guy selling stuff. How is the notification system built for that, or is that like a different marketplace? How do you keep an overview on stuff like that happening when you're like offering something like 200 items in one post?
Yep. And there's two methods of using Facebook. You can do the Facebook live auction, where I go, all right, we're going to start the bidding off on this little Odie pencil eraser thing at $5. And then people start commenting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to go, all right, we got 10 seconds left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And the last person to bid, say the last bid was $15. I'm going to go, Anthony, you won. And I'll write down Odie, Anthony, 15. All right, next. So that's a live auction, which, little known fact, Justice Cury here was the very first person to ever do a live auction. When Facebook Live was original, no one knew. It was brand new. I went, I bet you this would be a good idea to start doing live auctions. And I started doing them in the Facebook group. And then another guy did it. Like no one had done it before. And then it caught on like wildfire. And I rarely do them anymore. They're exhausting.
It looks like a lot of work.
It is. So what I like doing now is called reply auctions, and this will circle back to the commenting portion. So I'll take typically about 50 items. I don't like to go much more than that because it gets insane. So I'll take, say, 50 G.I. Joe figures. I'll take pictures of each and every one of them, you know, click, 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 click. So now I got 50 pictures on my phone ready to go. I have a boilerplate thing that I just have to change the date on. And then I decide which group to put it on. You know, I use about 4 different Facebook groups that I like to use, General Toys or G.I. Joes or what have you. And then I go, all right, it ends at such and such day, such and such time. And I make a little collage of the heavy hitters that's going to be included in this reply auction to suck people in. They'll go, oh, let's see what's in this thing, and I start them low. So I don't care if it sells, if it's worth $50 and it only sells for 40. Who cares? But I'll list all 50 items. So each time in the comments, I'll upload this picture and I'll go $5. I'll upload the next picture and go $10, whatever. And then people underneath the picture in the comments will go 10, 12, 14, 16, and they'll keep bidding. And that'll happen with under all 50 pictures. So then I turn off the comments when the auction ends, and then I get a Word document, double screen, and I look at all the high bidders. I write down the item, the person, and the value, and then I say, oh, this guy won 10 items. So then I clump them all together, and I send them a message, and I kind of guesstimate on shipping because I've been doing it so long. I pretty much can look at what an item is and guess on shipping. But I love Facebook auctions for that reason. And eBay is stuff that is just kind of obscure. Like I had a Muppet baby lot, not Muppet babies, the Palisade Muppets. And it's going to end in a few hours right now. But I went, I don't want to match up all their weapons. Look at me. Accessories for the Muppets.
I don't remember that episode. Where they just had knife fights.
Yes. I don't want to match up all the stuff. So I just put them in 3 different lots and just let people determine where the bidding goes. And like one's up to 100, one's up to 80, one's up to 40. Because I'm not passionate about it. I didn't care much about it. And I went, I'll let the market decide. But it was easier venue for eBay than Facebook.
Sure. Yeah. Wider audience. For myself, I love setting up at shows when I can. So I might do that like 2 or 3 times a year. But I'm in the same boat as you, Justice. Like I want to get out there and go hunt. So that makes it hard. But I usually bring a buddy and he watches the table. So that's usually good. And then eBay for me. That's about it. Yeah. eBay's just easy for me. So I don't really have to worry about anything. Super easy.
Justice, do you ever have your friends do some bids on your live auctions just to inflate the numbers?
No, that's called.
Are you sure?
Oh my God!
Are you sure?
I would never in a million years do that because for one, it would be unmoral and unethical, and 2, if that got news, I burned a bridge with that person and that person goes, look at all these screenshots of conversations of me and Justice told me to bid on these items, my name would be mud. I would never jeopardize my reputation for a couple extra bucks.
All right, we'll have the expose next time you're on with us live. But I will say I definitely do appreciate eBay for what it is. Again, it's you get the widest audience there. And it's one of those things where, like, if you just want to throw a Hail Mary and see, is somebody going to buy this thing for an obscene, amount of money? So again, as much as I love giving a deal to fellow collectors, locally or in the Facebook groups, I kind of don't have that approach on eBay because eBay, you're just like the nameless mass to me. Like, I don't really care about you, honestly, as a person. So if any of you see me selling stuff on eBay and you're interested, don't buy it through eBay. Just contact me. And I'll give you a much better deal. But like, for example, in one of the last G1 Transformer lots I got, there was a bunch of unused sticker sheets in there. And I'm like, I wonder if anybody really cares about these. And I'll see like some don't exist at all. Some have, a random sold listing of like $10. And, I'm like, well, this one's a series 1. Let me throw it up for $50. And people are buying it. And it's just like, and that's why you do it, because you never know. And if I brought that to like a toy show, people would stop coming to my table and be like, I hate you. I literally hate you. I want to set you on fire. But that's why eBay, eBay is what it is. Sometimes you can get lucky and, find an auction nobody cares about as a buyer. But as a seller, if you're really trying to just find that one special someone that's willing to part ways with their money, that's the place to do it.
Very true.
Can I tell you one funny story about eBay and Facebook? We have enough time?
Yeah, we have plenty of time, dude.
All right.
Do it.
So I got these, what what are those freaking things called again? Netflix just relaunched the Dark Crystal. So you guys know what Dark Crystal is. Sideshow made some larger Dark Crystal figures before Sideshow was real huge. So they weren't super expensive. They're probably made 15 years ago or whatever. I got them in a lot. I posted them on Facebook Marketplace, on my page, what have you. And I think I only was asking $40 or something for the two of them. No one wanted them. I tried selling. No one wanted them. I went, whatever, I'll throw them on eBay. So eBay, the bids went up to like $180. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. I was making posts like, hey, look at guys, you should have bought this. So the lady on eBay wins it. And she reaches out to me and says, hey, I don't have all the money right now, but I really want these. Can you wait a week? And I said, yeah, I can wait a week. And she said, by the way, I made the jewelry for episode 3, Star Wars episode 3. And she was like she said, can I send you a friend request on Facebook? I said, yeah, sure. She sent me a friend request. We started talking and she's like showing me that she actually designed the jewelry on Star Wars episode 3. I'm like, that's awesome.
Wow.
So a few days before she's ready to pay, she must have been scrolling through my page and she found it where I was selling it for $40. And she messages me and says, well, I don't think I should pay $180 because you were trying to sell this for $40. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? You don't want to pay less now? And she's like, well, can you not? I feel more comfortable at $100. And I just wanted to blow up on her, but I went, well, what am I going to do? Yell at her and then say, and then lose the sale. I totally ended up working out some deal with her, but I'm like, gosh, dang it. It's just weird. It's weird.
And then years later, that woman became your wife. I love happy ending.
I told you he would bring that up.
Let's see. What other question? We have some questions early on. Trying to find them. Oh yeah, somebody, Justice, asked if you are going to collect the new Hasbro 6-inch Joe line. I know that for sure.
And I just had this argument with one of my buddies, Carlos Barone, who's in the Facebook groups. I always would preach I'm vintage through and through. I got vintage flowing through my veins, and most of my collection is vintage. But when I've crossed so many darn finish lines, and now I'm just looking at the bootlegs and the variants and the weird things, I need something else to collect. Mm-hmm. And space is an issue too, where I go, I don't want to collect something new unless I have room for it, because I don't want to become a hoarder, man. I really don't want to just own it to say I own it and have it in a tote somewhere. No offense if anybody watching or you three are that way, but my heart goes out there. Anyway, so Carlos was like, man, you're posting all this vintage or this modern stuff. Why you're getting into modern? You're kind of betraying your vintage roots. And I explained what I just said. I go, I need something else. Like I like vintage. I love vintage. I'll pick vintage over modern any day, but I still need to be on the hunt for things. So my buddy was talking to me and I passed on the 6-inch. I was like, nah, I'm not going to get the G.I. Joe 6-inch. And he brings over the Snake Eyes Deluxe or the special version with the box and whatnot. And I'm looking at it going, oh my God, this is beautiful. It looks like a piece of art. And I go, I want to own it just to display the box and everything. I don't even want to take it out. It looks great. And he's like, we want to trade for it? I'm like, yeah, I got to trade you for it. And he's like, well, they're going for $100 on eBay right now. I'm like, yeah.
Is that the one that Boston Mike also got? He
did
a video on that, right? With
he did a video on
it opens up and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a beautiful presentation. It really is. They're on it.
Well, I'm probably going to get some, yeah.
Okay. Sweet. Have you ever sold something that you ended up regretting and you bought it back later? And did you buy it back later?
Yeah.
Well, did you, Craig?
Me? I would have to think about that, honestly.
I feel like there should be something, but probably. I can't. It's not coming to mind.
I mean, probably some retro.
I know I have started collecting toys, and it was just like a big toad. of toys I had, and I would just go to flea markets and just throw them in to have toys, bought for like €1 or $1. And I used to have like a lot of Master of the Universe figurines, and then I did one of my focus sessions where it was like, I'm going to keep these figurines, but the other ones I'm just going to sell. And I sold them for like €3 to €5 each. I kept all the weapons. That was like a weird thing. Like I'm not gonna like sell the weapons, but I'm gonna sell just the figurines. They weren't like in prime shape anyways, but I had like Extendar, is that the white knife?
It goes
like,
up.
Yeah, and the head and stuff. So I had that one and like a bunch of other ones that are harder to find right now, but I know I sold those for like €4.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm buying them back now. I've already bought back a couple, like what is it? Jitsu, or
Jitsu?
yeah, the guy with the golden hand. So yeah, I've been buying those back, but yeah, that was like a really dumb move looking back at it now. So yeah, that's
What about you, Greco?
So one thing did pop into mind, and it's not toys. So allow me to cross thresholds for a second. And it's not like major regret. I'm not like like up at night thinking about it. But one of the few like video game series that I really absolutely love is Phantasy Star, which I've mentioned a few times before. Originally came out as an RPG on the Master System, and now it's in the whole online world as an MMORPG on current consoles. And one of the versions of that I sold when I was trying to raise money back when I first kind of discovered like Comic Cons and wanted to fund that was Phantasy Star Online for the GameCube. And it's like an $80 game nowadays, I think. And one of the cool things about it is that it was one of the few online games that had an offline version. So like the original Dreamcast one, you could only play online. The Xbox One and so on. It was only online only. So once those like servers shut down, the GameCube one was kind of one of your only ways to kind of relive it. So I kind of regretted that, especially now that back then I didn't really care about it, but now I'm like, I want every single Phantasy Star game that's ever existed. So that's my one regret there, where I would want to buy it back. I haven't done it yet because I'm not paying what I sold it for to get it back. Like it's not that dire of a need. One thing that I kind of regret selling, and I've mentioned this on other shows before, and I feel like I bring it up once per show, is that sealed Castle Grayskull that I found.
That was nice, dude.
Because I sold it and we made a profit, but again, I'm like, what could the potential have been if I just like aimed a little higher? Because I ended up selling it to somebody that I knew. And the deal worked out, and I was happy with it. He was happy with it. But I just know, just like if I really like shot for the moon on that thing, like the price could have been astronomical.
Yeah, for certain. What about you, Justice?
Can you tell us? Can you tell us how much you sold it for, or do you want to keep that private? I'm just curious.
Did I?
You told us.
Did I? Yeah, I mean, I
before.
usually share prices, so I'm not that. And I feel like I hope you guys don't just like laugh at me, like because you're like, wow, you gave that thing away. But I think I got like 800 for it.
Oh, that's fine. One just sold for $750 a few weeks ago on eBay. So that's
Okay, because at the time there again, and there's only like 2 sold examples on eBay. One was kind of like in line with what I sold it for, but then there was some random one, and again, you don't know how truthful it is, that supposedly sold for like 1,700.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Right. And I screwed myself over. I had a sealed Snake Mountain about 2 months ago, or maybe a little longer. I put it online for $600, and it was sold within, less than a minute. And then my PMs were like, I'll buy it. And I'm like, oh, I underpriced it. But I didn't care because I knew how much I paid for it. And I went, whatever. Yeah, I could. And I had literally people going, I'll give you $200 more if you cancel the sale with the original guy. And again, a little freaking angel, I'm like, listen to me, sell it to the original guy. And then I get, don't do it. Sell it, get money. I'm like, who do I listen to? It was very difficult. So then I listened to the angel. Unfortunately, no, I did. But selling things that I regret, I've been kind of I did a video recently saying selling your collection or something along that lines. And I got all these people going, oh, you're selling your collection. You're getting out. I'm like, no, I'm not selling my collection. I'm not getting out of toys. And if you'd watched the whole video, you would understand that it was about letting go of certain pieces in my collection, such as my mint on card 1983 to 1989 G.I. Joe collection. I had a full run and I've had it for many years. But as priorities change and I go, does it make me any happier to have a full run? Well, it was fun acquiring it, watching it, documenting it, photographing it. But do I still need it right now? No. And if people are going to pay me money to make me accomplish my new goal of possibly retiring earlier so I can do toys full time, all right, so be it. So be it that I have to sell my 83 Snake Eyes. I'm making a good profit. Someone's paying the top dollar. Whatever. I'll find it again if I really want it.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing. That's only been a few months ago. Do I regret it? No. The only thing that would come close to regretting is the store display Castle Grayskull. It was a light up Castle Grayskull. It had terrain in the front of it. I got it shipped from Germany and it was beautiful. But a guy reached out to me that was Mr. Moneybags and it was just like, I'll give you a case of money. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know.
I love that guy. He's my favorite buyer.
He is my favorite friend. I know.
King's a money guy.
And I said no for the longest time, but he's like me. He's persistent and he kept every week messaging me and adding money. I'll give you $500 more. I'll give you $500 more. And I'm like, I don't know. And then part of it is the YouTube. I did a YouTube video on it. I've had it for a year. I enjoyed it. Like photographing it and having it saved on video, it's still like part of my collection in a weird way. If I want to look back, I can look at it. So there's not a huge regret, but it was like something that I had spent years trying to acquire and then got it. But I know it's going to a good home. Plus, he promised me that he's going to put a little thing underneath it, a little piece of paper. So if he ever died, his wife, it would say, goes to Justice Cury and have a phone number. If he mysteriously disappears like Carol Baskin's husband, which may or may not be in the works right now, then it goes back.
You gotta let the cage open.
That's right.
Speaking of Tiger King, I take it that you liked it? Yeah.
Heck to the yeah, man. Coincident. I thought it was fake. Like after 3 episodes in, I'm like, this is too crazy. We're going to find out at the end that they're all going to be actors and they're going to like, got you, America.
Right.
We hooked ya. Ha. It's a Blair Witch Project type thing. And then I started doing some research going, holy moly. This
is real. This really happened.
This really happened.
Yeah, I freaking love that show. Loved it. I watched it twice.
Oh, wow.
Good times. Yeah. Love watching train wrecks. So.
Absolutely.
Have any of you thoughts selling everything and starting over? For me, no. I just kind of like purge here and there and, out with the old and in with the new, I guess, for me. Greco?
Thank you for leading the conversation. Yeah, no, I haven't gotten to that point. Thankfully, this is still great for me. And again, I think at least in my experience, one of the main reasons why I haven't hit that kind of bump in the road is because I don't have the space to really give my collection, its day in the sun like it deserves. So I almost don't have a good grasp on what I have, unfortunately. And I feel like until I get to that point where it's like, this are the fruits of my labor and I can really enjoy it, like have a toy room, not just like a toy side of the bedroom, which is what my backdrop is. There's literally like a bed and like a punching bag over here and an elliptical over there, things that don't really belong. But yeah, no, I think I have to at least see that through before I can be like, all right, my job here is done. Away with you.
Yeah. Ed, what about you, sir?
No, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I have thought about like starting like something like Retro Rig's doing like a $10 collection thing. So having like a part of the collection isolated. But no, I'm not selling any of this stuff. It's like if I would have had the Castle Grayskull display piece like you had, because I have one a Turtles one, I would never sell that.
I think
Unless
he just
like
called
there's
you an idiot.
no, I mean,
mean-
unless of course somebody offers you just a stupid amount of money for it. Obviously, like my vintage toy guy, he had a couple of sealed Eternius, and he was like, "What people are offering me for these, I had 3, now I have 2." So it was okay to sell it because that price was just stupendous, if that's a word. So yeah, like no, there's like too many memories attached to this, and of course there's like so much stuff you just buy bulk that you're not attached to. So I'm not talking about that stuff. I might thin out the collection even more, but there's so many things I just enjoy having and actually enjoy looking at, playing with. So no,
Nice. Yeah.
not really thought about selling everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And Justice kind of already answered that earlier with his retirement fund. So
in this collection, like if someone came in and said, "I'll give you $500,000 or I'll give you $200,000 or something crazy, life-changing money," I would consider it because it would be like reset. And I would start right back again because of the hunt and acquiring and displaying it differently. Like if you guys ever saw how I display things, I like battle scenes. I like chaos. I like some organization. I like change. And it's so much stuff. It's difficult to change it all around all the time because I'm juggling, family and work and selling things and buying things. So I go again with collector fatigue. I like having multiple outlets, to buying, to selling, to YouTube creativity, to changing up my display. It was just like a week ago where I went, I need to reorganize this area. And it was fun. It was fun not just staying on my darn, phone the whole time, taking pictures or doing things. I was just having some me time. And I may or may not have been wearing clothes. But it was but as far as selling everything, no. But if someone's asked for a specific piece and they're like, "I'll pay you more than buy it now eBay pricing for that piece because I want it a lot," and I'll go, "I'll find it again. I will find it again."
Yeah, for sure.
Can I do a quick plug? Speaking of no clothes, if anybody wants to see my naked toy hunting videos, I'm on OnlyFans. So DM me.
All right, we have a question from Not Another Retro Channel, and he asks, Justice, what is the most expensive piece in your collection?
Geez, I don't know. And some people always go, "Well, how many mint on card do you have?" I'm like, I don't know. I haven't counted them. And the most expensive piece, prices fluctuate. I have some pre-production GI Joes, some original pre-production artwork. So the price is subjective. I mean, that stuff is one of a kind, belongs in a museum in my brain. So is it worth 5,000? Is it worth 2,000? I don't know. But nothing. I don't have like stadium events or those $1,000 crazy things. I bet you a couple $1,000 for maybe a camo Cobra Khan.
Yeah.
The Topps toys. That's probably up to $1,000.
Nice.
And then
you
some
have
of the
that?
lights. Yeah. Yep.
You have any of the Leo toys or?
No. Yes. Yeah. I got a Leo Faker. So that's up there too. Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. And the laser lights, those are expensive. The Min on card, G.I. Joe, or sorry, He-Man laser lights. So, but I sold those two recently. I'm sorry. Yeah. But again, I have the loose laser lights. And if you were to ask me, do you like min on card or do you like loose better? I like loose better than min on card. It's a weird thing. You know, min on card's more expensive.
Mhm.
I wouldn't sell my loose ones because I like touching them. I like, that's sort of weird. I'm displaying them. Where the min on card, yeah, I have them for a few years. They quadruple in price. I'll find them again.
For sure. Did any of you remember the toy show, The Toy Hunter? I know most of it was set up, but what did you think of the show? Ed, what did you think?
I loved it. That was one of the things I knew, like, the prices were exaggerated. Or at least I felt like the prices were exaggerated. Like they were like saying like, oh, you have to say it's worth that much because it'll create more fuzz for the show, you know. I do think there was like Pat the NES Punk did a podcast together with Pixel Dan, talking about it. That Pixel Dan was actually one of the other guys they had.
It was up for it. Yeah.
Set up for that show to be created, but it was Jordan Hembro that did it in the end. And I saw him do a panel in Antwerp a couple of years ago. So it was really cool meeting him, seeing him talk about the show, seeing him being knowledgeable about all the toy stuff, you know.
Sure.
But yeah, for me, that was like one of the first introductions to this toy is rare. And, you know, like the Scratch TMNT figure, I didn't really know back then because like I never had that toy. But for me, that was like you know, toy collecting 101, learning about how collectors before it was like out in the open on YouTube or overly accessible.
Right.
Learning about, you know, when you're a collector, you buy 3, you buy 1 to keep, 1 to open up, and 1 to sell years down the line, which is like, yeah, back in the day, you could still do that. So I love that show, even though it was set up, but it was set up for the right ways for you to be able to learn and, you know, maybe
it was entertaining.
to be entertaining, you know. Yeah.
Greco, what do you think?
I really liked it too, because like I forget the exact timeline of everything, but I'm pretty sure like, you know, for me, kind of like lifting the lid on like you know, picking and hunting. Like I went from like American Pickers, and I was like, that's really cool. And then Toy Hunter was like American Pickers, but for things I actually care about, you know, like toys and other collectibles that I grew up with. So that just kind of brought. I mean, I know there's a good and bad thing about, you know, making it mainstream in a way, but I like that, you know, it showed that there was enough of an audience out there to warrant the show itself, and it reinvigorated my interest in hunting. And then you mentioned Pat the NES Punk, like his flea market hunting videos, I think were a big inspiration for me to kind of want to jump into this whole YouTube foray and kind of do that.
Game Chasers.
Yeah, Game Chasers as well. Yeah, I think Pat led me to them, and yeah, I think without all that, I definitely wouldn't be here. Not that I don't know what here is. Like I haven't reached some level of like superstardom, but I've been enjoying myself.
Yeah.
And so that was great. I mean, I think I met Jordan at like New York Comic Con one year. I think he was set up there. And yeah, I mean, I just love the whole. I know people are saying like, oh, it's too like staged or kind of fake, but the teases, the big market teases work, man. Every time right before commercial break, it was like, oh my god, and
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
to be continued. Yeah, so
He's in a hat.
it was fun, and like I wish it was still on. Like I still don't know what exactly happened because I heard it was like the ratings were good, so I'm not sure why it's not around.
Yeah.
But
Like
it was a fun ride.
I try editing my videos kind of like that as well. I look at, you know, Game Chasers, Pixel Gaming Squad, and Toy Hunter. Those are like my 3 main influences for what I would like my show to get perceived as, you know. So definitely like, you know, the obvious storage wars. Oh, this is a cool thing, and then it ends up being nothing, you know.
Yeah.
But in Toy Hunter, it was like, oh, there's this variant that you never knew about. You know, like the rocket firing Boba Fett.
Yeah.
All of like the classic things are in there in those shows. You know, in that show. Yeah.
What about you, Justice?
Yeah, I mean, Toy Hunter holds a really Jordan Hembro holds a special place in my heart for the following reasons. It was, I had a room similar to this all through high school, and then college, and then I just thought I had to grow up. Like I thought this was a natural progression. I collected toys and memorabilia and weird stuff throughout my whole childhood. And then it came to a point when I was getting into law enforcement. I moved across the state. I said, I guess I have to put these childish things away. And I didn't realize, because it was before all the groups and stuff, that this still was a thing. And when I got rid of most of everything. And then when I got sober, I remember having like a lot of time on my hands and needed a hobby. And I started flicking through the channels. And this is 8 years ago or so. I'm watching Toy Hunter. And he's, with 30, 40-year-old dudes looking in collection rooms like this. And I'm going, oh my God, this is awesome. And it just started reigniting something inside me that I went, I want something like that. I want a collection room. I didn't know this was acceptable. I didn't know people existed like this, which then I started researching the Facebook groups and going, oh, this is wonderful. And then after a few years of collecting, a friend of a friend knew Jordan, and I had a question about this rare pre-production something or other. And I had asked that person, who forwarded the message to Jordan. And then the next thing I know, they're like, hey, what's your phone number? Jordan wants to call you. And I'm talking on the phone with Jordan, and I'm like starstruck. Some people are like, oh, Justice Cury, you're awesome. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just a regular dude, just like all you other ones. But I understand that kind of starstruck moment because I was, I felt that feeling. And I'm talking to him and he's cursing and stuff. And I'm like, Jordan Hembro is not supposed to say the S word. This is crazy.
Did you say that to him? Like, you're not supposed to say that.
No, I was just like, okay, all right, I love you. Can I send you some nudes? I'm kidding. Why did I say that? We edit that part out.
Yeah. What would you value these at?
Anyway, I talked with him a little bit, but it's weird. Jordan and I kind of stayed in contact, and then he knew about Plastic Crack, and he's messaged me as of even a month ago. He messaged me about something and was asking me some question or a video or something, and I'm just like, that's cool. That kind of the guy that really catapulted me into this, and a lot of my YouTube videos are still like, I love sharing my hunting adventures. I like sharing videos about other people's collections and talking about flipping toys, which that is he's a toy flipper. That's how he makes a living. So it was really neat just to kind of stay in contact and, I don't know, have that mentor.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Does he still have a shop? Do you know?
I think he got involved with Disney, and now he's helping promote the Star Wars stuff, and so he's going in.
That's right.
Yeah, can you call him on speakerphone right now, live?
You know what?
On the air.
Let's do it.
But is he actually going to do it?
Is he going to do it?
My son's upstairs. You know what? I should. Here, let me tag. I'll be back.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Huh. Or if this is going to happen.
Oh, we have no time. We got to go. No.
End broadcast.
Do you guys remember Travis from Toy Hunter? He was like the young,
yeah.
Transformers expert and other toy expert. He's kind of like a local celebrity. He's from Rhode Island, which is right underneath Massachusetts, and he works for like an auction company that always sells. I mean, they sell everything, but they always have like vintage toy and comic book auctions as well. That's the one. I don't know if you saw the video, but that's the one where I bought the sealed Channel 6 news van, the TMNT one.
Yeah.
That's the auction house I got it from. So when I went to go pick it up, he was like there. I didn't say anything because he was like on his way out, but he's a regular guy anyways too. It's not like, oh, but for me it was just like, yeah.
And what did you do with that Channel 6 news van, Greco?
Yeah,
what did you do with that?
I had instant regret when I bought it because it cost me like, I forget what after fees, wasn't it like $500 or something that I spent on it, which is a good deal if I was going to keep it.
It's a grail.
But for me, I was like, I don't know if I want this, and I had like instant panic, so I think I sold it like immediately for like $800. So I know. Sorry, I'm the worst. I find like such cool things.
You gricked yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, you did.
Where is the
Well,
grecking board?
Dude, I totally, I found a board, but I forgot to get it. So next week we'll have the Grec too. How many times people get Grec? We'll have our names and then everybody in the chat, and I'll just mark it.
No one is safe.
Another-
Nobody.
Nobody's
Another thing that happened last week. No, it was Friday. It was this week. Was like pogs. Are they making a comeback?
They
Is that
are.
a thing?
They're selling them at Target now.
Pogs?
Yeah.
Do we have to do like a
I got some
podcast?
pogs
Or-
in here.
Apparently, it was a hot topic on my live show. That's all people wanted to talk about.
This is a big drawer of a lot of miscellaneous stuff. Anytime I sell something, like I have a bunch of pogs in there as well, or Garbage Pail Kids, or Ninja Turtle sealed trading cards with the gum in it. I always throw something extra in every sale. But I got
That's
pogs
awesome.
in here as well. So
Just toss a
Yeah.
pog in there.
I-
Goes a long way.
I got a text into Jordan. So he's getting ready to.
Uh-oh.
He said he's on a family Zoom call. So well, I tried.
I hate him. I never liked Toy Hunter. He's a garbage person.
Tarf is going crazy in the comments now.
Yeah.
Pogs. Yeah, finally.
Greco got a haircut.
I did get a hair. I did it myself, which is pretty obvious. And not in a good way.
So, do we have any more questions?
Is there any more questions, guys?
Because you guys can comment questions. You know.
Yeah.
I feel like plenty came in. Oh, maybe you're just having a hard time finding them.
Now's your time. Time is now, guys. Time is now. Travis is a cool guy. I talk to him often. Oh, that's that same guy.
Yeah, Spruce. Yeah, Spruce goes down there all the time when they were doing live auctions.
Mm-hmm.
So he would see him all the time.
That's cool.
I'm just looking through some of the questions here.
It's just pogs. Everything's pogs in the comments.
Everybody's
right
talking about pogs. What the heck?
See, it's people want them. I don't know, or at least like the vocal people are on our live shows.
I have a message from Jordan. Shh, attention, everyone.
Oh,
He says, and I quote, "I'm so sorry." Oh, I don't want to do an impression of him because then he'll hate me. Please
Jordan
send-
Hembro.
Please send my best to everyone except Stamos. So,
That's the Jordan I know. That's the Jordan I know.
We got a
Cincy got a question.
Yeah, question from Cincy Nerd. You find $100 on the ground. What toy or game are you immediately buying with it?
I would flip it for 200.
Of course you would. Of course you would. For me, I would probably buy probably a half court. I still need to get a half court and maybe a complete half court. Let's get crazy. That's about $100. So yeah.
can it be $200? I need 200.
You need two?
Yes.
Cincy, can it be 200?
Cincy, can I take Ed's money?
You have to
Please.
spin the wheel.
Yeah. I want to get along the modern vein. You guys know what Mythic Legions are?
Oh, dude, I got some. Yep.
Oh, they're beautiful. But there's the crossover ones of the Motu He-Man inspired ones like Crinjor and the Battle Cat, and there's some other ones. But the most expensive one that's like $200 right now is the Man at Arms.
Yeah, I don't
That's
have
the
that.
one I want to get. But I
That's
just
the only
hate.
one I don't have.
Yeah, me too.
So darn expensive.
Yeah.
Justice finds 200.
That's 200.
Okay, there we go.
Turning into a D&D game.
Right. Ed, what about you?
$100. Okay. Let me. Can I get an Earthbound for that?
That's gonna
I
be
don't
tough.
think so,
Yeah,
right?
It's gonna be tough. That's about $1.5 billion.
I don't know. Maybe get a. What's $100? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like a thunder tank in box should be around 100 or 100 euros. Okay.
Yeah.
Me and my vintage guy were actually like talking about because he has one. I was like, I want to pay 60, and he was like, no. So yeah, give me that $100 and I'll buy it.
Yeah. Greco, you find $100. What do you buy?
Yeah, so I'm kind of spoiling a future haul video, and I think one of the previous questions was like, "What did you spend your stimulus check on?" So one thing that I found on eBay when I was searching that is great because for those of you that think I'm like a one-trick pony, like it's not a transformer, and it actually connects to my childhood, and I love it, and I'm so happy that uh, it's going to work itself out. But unfortunately, it ran into some shipping issues. But I went ahead and I got these TMNT Battle Fun sets, the little dress-up kits from back in the day. So I mean, I love that stuff as a kid, like becoming your favorite, Ninja Turtle or character, right? Yeah, just dressing up, role playing. So I did buy. This is sealed in the box. I got a Leonardo and a Donatello. Unfortunately, yeah, it ran into some shipping issues. So the guy is supposedly sending me a replacement, which is pretty awesome.
A replacement?
Yeah, that's what he says. He's gonna send me out a whole.
He just has those like lying around.
He must have found some new old stock because he literally had like 6 of this, and he had like multiple 4-packs with all of them for sale. I wanted to get the 4-pack, but for some reason his asking price was set at 300 shipped, and there was no best offer. Whereas these ones were 75 plus or best offer. So I was able to get this for 50 shipped. Which I don't know if it's a good deal or not because I haven't come across this, and there's no other examples on eBay. So I was like,
I would have bought them all. I would have bought them all.
And I wanted to. So that's the answer to my question. If the guy were willing to sell it to me for $100, I would get Raphael and Michelangelo to complete the set. But I'm super happy
you could
to
just
have this.
buy them out and sell everything later.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, I don't know if I have to return this.
And
he hasn't answered that question. I think I'd give you one. Yeah.
What? Really?
I'd give you a good deal.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, it got gripped.
But if I give you something, then I have to give Narc something, and it's just
got to, man. Justice
as well. Yeah.
And Cincy and Spruch. Everybody.
They're just gonna want handouts. I can't. Yeah. Not with the economy the way it is.
Justice, how many mythics do you have right now?
I ended up buying a bunch of. I probably shouldn't say this. I bought a bunch of the last wave, like the Purplor is the Panther one. I bought 20 of the darn things because I had a good deal on them. Yeah. And I've noticed that when they don't become available anymore, they triple in value. Yeah. They skyrocket. So I'm rolling the dice on it. I don't do that very often with buying modern toys and hoping that they're going to be worth more later on. But I'm seeing a pattern with that happening, and I'm buying them under. Yeah, and I'm buying them at a decent price under retail because of bulk. And I went, well, I wanted to buy Purplor for myself anyway. And the Trap Jaw, I don't know what they call them, but it is so Chrono. It's beautiful. That's the one I think collectors are really going to want later on. But I basically, the only Mythic Legions I have are just the Motu inspired ones, minus the Mana Unkin. The Mana.
Yeah, that's right. Are you going to pick up any of the ogres or the trolls?
I picked up, what's the medium range? Is the giant one? Is that the troll and the ogre? I don't remember.
I think the ogre is one of the builders.
Okay.
Yeah. Like 9 inches or something like that.
Yeah. With the last wave, I picked up like 2 ogres and then 2 of all the other figures, but those were for flippable because I just don't have room to go down another tangent.
Right.
And plus my completist mentality, those ones in like series 1, 2, and they're crazy expensive. $100 a piece. I don't want that.
Yeah. Way too much.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We have any more questions? Anything else?
I see some.
Did you? Let me see.
Yeah, man. You just got to scroll. Come on. Put the effort in.
I'm trying, dude. I'm trying.
Somebody asked about a Boglin. Somebody asked about TMNT tournament fighters. Somebody asked about um, movies and stuff.
Are you planting Boglin questions? I feel like you always want to talk about Boglins.
Let's talk about Boglins.
There we go.
Ooh, there we go.
All right. Started a fire.
I owned one Boglin back in the day. It was like one in the egg.
Mm-hmm.
That answers that question. Did you guys own any Boglins?
Not me, no.
No.
My friend did, so I still have a strong sentimental attachment because when I love the feeling, the texture of them.
Yeah.
So my daughter plays with this thing constantly. Oh, we have the same one.
Yeah. My kid also always wants to play with the Boglins, and I'm like, no, don't touch them. They're fragile.
They don't like to be touched.
They're like on the top shelf as well, so they're like, ooh, Craig's got one of those.
Oh, nice.
But
big
hey,
eyes.
spoiler, no eye.
Oh,
The soggy
got
Boglins.
got a hook stuck in it.
So yeah, Tarf, best version of TMNT Tournament Fighters. You guys play Tournament Fighters?
I did.
Like the Super Nintendo one?
Yeah, they're asking which one is the best. Is it the NES, SNES, or Mega Drive? Genesis one. I'm gonna go for the Genesis one.
It has Ray Fillet in it, right?
Like that one, best controls.
Different characters.
Or best in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't play cross-platform, so I don't really have a comparison to draw on. But I was a Sega kid, so I'll go with Sega.
I had a Sega too, so I'd probably go with SNES was good, but yeah, I like the Sega version.
Do they have a blood code in the Genesis version, like Mortal Kombat?
Just dues, man.
Just dues.
It's just dues.
I do know that the NES version is just really hard because you only have 2 buttons to really work with, and the SNES version is tough as hell. Like it's really tough fighting the robot or like what is it? The robot player in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Expensive one, the Nintendo or the Super Nintendo? I always mix them up.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
Nintendo is like up there.
It's like almost double. Yeah.
If you could be buried with one toy, which one is it going to be, or going to the grave with you? I don't know.
Probably.
Luckily, I don't have to decide because I'm immortal.
I'll take myself to the grave.
Nice.
I'll be taking myself.
Who is it? Oh, I thought that was Bluto from Popeye. I was like, I had no idea. I didn't know you're such a fan.
Right.
I'd probably just take. I got a Footloose GI Joe. It was the only GI Joe figure that survived my childhood because I was a pyromaniac as well as a sniper. I didn't know if you knew this about me. I was a sniper with my BB gun, and I loved destroying toys. I know I'm probably going to lose 800 subscribers by saying that, but I freaking Muscle Men. I put them off in the distance. Bing, 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 bing. Loved it.
Yeah, I used to blow up my GI Joes with those M80s or whatever.
Oh,
I used to do that all the time. So much fun.
It. And what I would do is take little Dixie cups, fill them with water, and put a Muscle Man or a toy in there, and then put it in the freezer. So I would have ice.
Oh,
and
nice.
When I got it would blow off chunks of the ice, and I love doing that stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah,
my buddy.
This guy's he's coming with me. If I'm going down, he's coming down.
That's creepy as hell, man.
He's gonna haunt you in the afterlife.
Well, that's the thing. No, this is to thwart any grave robbers. If anybody digs me up, this guy.
Oh my!
That'd be a big mistake.
That is so funny.
If you could only collect one line, what would it be? Mine. We've talked about this. I'm on a TMNT kit right now, so probably that for myself. Greco.
Hold on, I'm winded from throwing my buddy around. I feel like collect one line. What would it be? Yeah, I guess it has to be. I don't know. PC people already know me.
Yeah.
I should just stop showing up.
Well,
I have nothing new to add.
Yeah,
I'm
just as
serious.
absurd.
I equate having 3 children, and my 3 children are Muscle Men, He-Man, and G.I. Joe. And I love them all. I love them all, but they change the one I love the most, and I can't pick. Like, it changes daily.
Yeah, it's hard.
Very difficult. Like, the most sentimental is Muscle Man and He-Man are very close together. Crazy sentimental, and G.I. Joe is right there, little underneath. So I don't know.
Yeah. And Ed, we already know the answer.
It's
Yeah.
TNT, and I probably want to be buried with like a Raphael.
Raph? There you go.
Finish
Soft head or hard head?
That's dirty.
You're gonna put it. You're gonna put it inside you. Like, tell the mortician to.
Yeah, I go like Space Cadet Raph. Took me with that one. Yeah.
All right, guys, we got time for one more question.
Woo!
One more.
You don't have a kid sister?
Here we go. If you guys could have a proper toy line for a movie that hasn't had one, what movie would it be? Greco.
I just made a face like I had no idea what to say, and you went right to me.
More fun.
Okay, I don't know if this is like my like best answer, but the first thing that popped into my head, and I don't know if they've made a toy line of this. They might have in Japan. But do you guys remember that anime? They actually made a movie with Mark Hamill in it, but Guyver?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure some figures exist somewhere in Japan, but I would love some here that I can touch, take home with me. I was really into that. You know, they've had so many like re-releases of that series. I never know if it actually like caught on super well. It just might have been one of those things where like I constantly rented it from like Blockbuster, and like for some reason it just like caught on with me because it was awesome. But yeah, no, that popped into my head first, so that's gonna be my answer.
Nice. Ed?
I misread the question. I was like, which toy line there hasn't been a movie for?
So just reverse your answer.
Yeah, that would have been Dino Riders. I want that to happen. We need like a live action Dino Riders telling the story. But otherwise, a movie I would love to see a toy line from would have to be Basketball, which is like one of my favorite movies. That could be cool, you know.
Did he really just say basketball?
He said basketball.
Yeah, like a Trey Parker action figure.
Yeah,
with like the basketball thing. You guys don't like that movie? I love it.
No, it's super funny.
No, I do. It's hilarious. I wouldn't have guessed that in a million years that anybody would say basketball.
It's like one of the only DVDs I actually have.
Really?
I have like cartoons, and I have Basketball and Evil Dead on DVD. Yeah.
Justice, what about you, man?
So I'm confused. I keep reading this question. Am I talking about a movie, or am I talking that hasn't been made about a toy line, or am I talking about a toy line that?
I was kind of confused about that as well. Let's just go with what we're doing. Just what toy would you want to make out of a movie?
A toy line. Pass. No.
Pass?
Legos. I would love a Lego.
Too controversial. I'm not touching that one.
Officially licensed toy line. I would love Never Ending Story. Never Ending Story is my jam. I freaking love it. Super sentimental. It's one of the movies I played on repeat nonstop on VHS. But they only made Mexican bootleg ones, and then some ones out of the UK from a company called Bully toy line. And I wish they made like a real official one, because I would love Artex sinking in the swamps of sadness, or the Orin, or other things.
Falcor. Epic. So for me, if Family Matters was a movie, I would want a Carl Winslow action figure.
Yes.
Every time.
But you can get like the Die Hard figure, right?
Well, I have the pop. I don't have like too many pops, but I have the Carl Winslow, or the officer, whatever his name is in that movie. I have that, but I'm talking about a figure. We need to work on this, guys.
That's your sealed Castle Grayskull. That's what you bring up every show.
How would you How would you like to see that? Would you like to see that in a Motu, in a Kenner style figure, or Playmates?
Let's go
G.I. Joe?
5.5. 5.5. Yeah, definitely. So I can put him with my other knockoffs. He can be like the king of the knockoffs.
What accessories would you want with them?
Ham sandwich. He has to be wearing a sweater. And maybe when his eyes get really big, like he has a different head sculpt, and his eyes just get super huge.
For like the never ending story toys, like you were talking, is that like something you would like to see based around the Dungeons and Dragons toy line, or more like the Willow sculpted toys, or how would you like to see that, Justice?
Well, I'm always a fan of the articulation of the G.I. Joe figures. So I'm just going to have to go with, 3 3/4 G.I. Joe. And granted, we do have Reaction. Reaction has been doing all those toy lines.
Everything.
Goonies. I'm like, that's awesome. Or one of my favorite movies, Fifth Element. They made Fifth Element movie figures. And then I got sucked into the freaking He-Man. Sorry, earmuffs. Yes, you can have my phone. The Motu Master Universe Reaction figures. They're like $15 a piece. I'm like, I'll never get those. Those are crazy. And then I bought a few, and now I'm like, I gotta get them all, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, gotta catch them all. Well, guys, I think that will be it. Justice, dude, thank you so much for coming aboard. We got to do this again, man. It was a blast.
Absolutely. I don't want to leave. I'm just gonna stay here. Okay, we're just gonna
that's totally cool. Totally cool.
Yeah. Just wait till we call you, and you will be live again.
Still be sitting there.
Right.
All right, chat. Thank you for coming. And next week we will be on whose channel? Whose channel is it? Is it Greco?
Yeah, if we're keeping the order of events, it'll be me.
Okay. And then we're discussing who our next guest will be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Maybe leave it down in the comments on this video who you think we should get on as a guest. Also, leave a thumbs up. And yeah.
All right, guys. Peace.
Bye.
I think. Maybe.
Craig.